Hello everyone. Welcome to CSAT 2026. My name is Abhilasha and I'll be covering some English practice questions with you. As in every session, I hope you've already liked the session and shared it, and also you are subscribed so that you can participate in the chat box. And I hope I'm audible and visible. So chalo, let's get started. Here's your first question. So let's read the passage together. And by the way, I hope you understand that this is a video, so you can pause the video, read the passage on your own, and then hear my explanation. So over the past few years, India has witnessed a surge. Surge means an increase, right, in renewable energy investments. So renewable energy investments is happening. It is increasing. Solar parks and wind farms are now operational in several states, helping to reduce reliance on fossil fuel. So reliance on petroleum, diesel, all of that is slightly going lesser. However, says now the author's true thought is going to come. The transition is not without challenges. So that means there are challenges in this change from fossil fuel to renewable energy segment. Land acquisition disputes, so there are fights when land is acquired. Inconsistent policy implementation, so policy is not being implemented consistently. And inadequate grid infrastructure, so there's not enough infrastructure to take that electricity, to take the energy from the solar parks and the wind farm, often slow down projects. Experts emphasize that long-term energy security depends on resolving these bottlenecks. So these problems have to be resolved, and ensuring stable policy framework. So government policy should be stable and should help, right? So that is what you're looking at. What benefit has India gained from renewable energy projects? Let's take a look. Increased dependence on fossil fuel. Of course, that's not correct. Dependence on fossil fuel will reduce. Reduced reliance on fossil fuel. Yes, this is happening. Complete elimination of land disputes. No, we have said that there are land disputes that are going on. Rapid industrial automation. Industrial automation has nothing to do with renewable energy, so that is irrelevant for us. So the best answer here is option number B. Let's take a look at the second question from this set. What challenge is identified as slowing renewable projects? What is the challenge that is stopping us? So inadequate grid infrastructure, inconsistent policy implementation, and land acquisition disputes. These are all stopping, these are all challenges that slow down renewable projects. Surplus grid infrastructure, no clear and uniform policies. These are not there only. Land acquisition disputes, yes, this is a problem. Abundant fossil fuel reserves is not the correct answer. So the only thing that is slowing down among these options is option number C, and that's your correct answer. All right, let's take a look at the next passage. Here you are. So let's read it. In recent years, like I said, please pause the video now, read the passage, and then look at the question. So in recent years, several cities have introduced bicycle sharing systems to reduce congestion and promote healthy living, so that you can stop congestion from happening and healthy living is happening. That is why bike sharing systems are coming in. Commuters can pick up a bicycle from one docking station and then return it to another near their destination. So you can take a cycle to wherever and then leave it there. While usage has increased, the systems face issues such as vandalism. People break the system, they steal the bikes, they destroy the bike stands, poor maintenance, and lack of safe cycling lanes. There are no places to cycle. Do you cycle on the roads? Urban planners argue that integrating cycling with public transport and improved infrastructure will make these initiatives more successful. So if you integrate cycling with public transport and if you improve the infrastructure for cycling, that means have paths for cycling, then it will make these much more successful. So that's the idea. What is one purpose of bicycle sharing system mentioned in the passage? So author says to reduce congestion and promote healthy living. So to increase dependence on private cars, not at all. To reduce congestion and encourage healthy living, yes. To replace all forms of public transport, that's too extreme. All forms, no. To discourage urban development, no. So the best answer here is option number B. Take a look at the next question. Which improvement is suggested to enhance bicycle sharing systems? So what improvements will help? Improving infrastructure, public transport integration, right? All of that is going to help. Reducing the number of docking stations will stop people from using the cycle. So not A. Limiting bicycles to a single station. Again, how will people get access to the cycles? Integrating cycling with public infrastructure, with transport and improving infrastructure. Yes. Encouraging vandalism as a form of maintenance. No. How do you encourage vandalism? Come and destroy my property. That's so bad. So not D. So best answer C. Okay. Again, let's look at this passage. So pause, view, and then carry on. Many historians argue that ancient trade routes such as the Silk Road were not merely means not just channels for commerce, but also for cultural exchange. So trade was happening, but also cultural exchange was happening. Along these routes, travelers carried stories, religions, and innovations across continents. So they would walk. They would bring stories from their places. They would transfer religions. They would spread religions and innovations. This exchange fostered artistic and scientific development in regions far apart. Yet means now the author's true thought, the passage of ideas was uneven. It was not fairly distributed. Some regions embraced them readily while others resisted or adapted them slowly. So different places, different paces, but it was definitely happening. Apart from trade, what other roles of ancient routes is highlighted? Of course, we know cultural exchange is highlighted. So they enabled cultural exchange and spread of ideas. Yes. They encouraged people to settle permanently at every stop. This is not mentioned. They isolated regions from external influence is not mentioned also. They eliminated the need for local markets was also not mentioned. So best answer, option number A. Take a look at the next question. What does the passage imply about the spread of ideas along trade routes? So how did spread of ideas happen? The spread of ideas was uneven. Some regions embraced them readily, others resisted or adapted them slowly, right? There was artistic and scientific development also happening. So it was uniform and identical in all regions is incorrect. He has just said it was uneven. It caused a decline in scientific development, not at all. Passage says it fostered scientific development, right? It replaced all local cultures immediately. No, that was not mentioned anywhere. It depended on whether regions accepted or adapted them. So yes, some accepted them readily, others resisted or adapted them. So therefore, D has to be the correct answer. Okay. All right, guys. So we've given you the answers here. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm always available. You can drop it in the chat box, always. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you found the session useful. Do remember to hit like, share, and subscribe. Adios, my amigos. I will see you soon.